Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, check.
Bruh.
21.
Wow. Implicitly. Fart! This is one bucket of pancakes.
You know what I was thinking about we should do maybe one day?
Jesus
if we could figure out how to
You're
put
not
this
that guy.
on Twitch.
Yeah,
I think, do you not have to stream for it to go on Twitch?
That's what I'm saying. Like live stream the episode just to see if anyone watched it, you know?
Well, so we would have to figure out a way to get those two cameras
Take
and the
direct
audio
feed.
into the computer and then link to Twitch. That is not something I know a whole lot about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dude, how about you just webcam and just record yourself streaming to Twitch while we record it?
Yeah.
21.
What the dog doing?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I don't really know how to do that very well
Oh,
either
man.
with your setup.
I don't have thoughts.
I don't have thoughts.
From Rixie, this is Debuff, and I'm your host, Steve Skeels.
What the dog doing?
Everything's rolling.
Welcome back to Debuff, boys.
Welcome back.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Pretty good, dude. How about you?
I'm doing well. Sean?
Good.
Hanging in there.
Cool.
Can't complain.
Just sipping the Dr. P.
Converted you for now temporarily. Dr. P's fire.
I was a Coke cherry guy for, 4 years, 5 years.
Then you realized Dr. Pepper is the choice drink of intellectuals.
Was I used to like Dr. Pepper. And that's what I drank because it was at my college. They had a Pepsi license.
So did we. I told you it was weird that VCU would have Pepsi at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's a mind fuck.
Yeah. Good times.
But yeah, Pepsi's at Regal now, which
You told me
I
that.
said.
That's where it was. I told Danielle some place just
Dude.
changed.
And I'm gonna be honest. Fuck that.
Ruins the experience.
I don't know, man. I've always thought Pepsi was pretty good.
I know
but I
that if you put Coke and Pepsi in front of me without a label, I probably wouldn't be able to tell.
You'd be able to tell.
You
Pepsi's
think so?
a lot
Yeah.
sweeter.
Yeah, I can definitely.
I've seen a lot of videos where people are like, I can't.
I know
tell.
that, but I don't know, man. I feel like
I think that's what everyone thinks is that you would be able to tell.
I think I could tell.
We could do a little double blind.
Yeah, we'll do it on the next episode, dude.
I'll
Bring
get a
some Coke
Pepsi and a Coke.
I'll,
We really need to be ripping those Beyblades on cam.
I know, rip the Beyblades.
let it rip.
Do you want me to start with that, or what do you want to do?
The first thing I wanted to say is a little correction. This is only the
Okay.
second time we've
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to do this,
No,
but
it's not the second time.
This is like
Well,
the 400th
There's like,
time.
yeah, I make mistakes every time, dude.
I feel like I only remember you saying it once, though.
Bro, I make
we've all made
mistakes every
mistakes.
day.
Everybody
I
makes
make
mistakes. dude.
every day of my life.
Everybody has those
21.
days. Yeah, so Horizon Forbidden West, we were talking about the whole controversy over the PS4, PS5 versions. I
Stupid.
didn't read all of it because I wasn't planning to pre-order it quite yet. But I guess there was no upgrade option at all. It wasn't even a $10 upgrade. So you would have had to buy PS4 version, and then if you got a PS5, you'd have to separately purchase the PS5 version, unless you get like the digital deluxe version or the two expensive collector's editions. Those options do come with both versions.
But is it the same price as buying both?
Now the digital deluxe was $80, and then the
Okay.
collector's editions are like, $200 and something. They come with like a statue and all these other things. So like it's nice that for those that give it to you, but if you buy the game physically, you're screwed. Which by the way, the collector's editions don't have physical disc, which sucks. But
So what you're telling me is that what the actual truth is worse than what we said it was.
I thought you just had to pay the $10, or I couldn't figure out why.
Wow.
It was a big deal because by the time we even went to talk about it, they'd already gone back and said it's a free upgrade. So I just assumed it was the $10 thing. But yeah, no, you couldn't even get it without buying both. So that sucks. That's worse, but that's all I want to say about it.
I wanted to kind of piggyback on that. I wish that Pokemon would say like, okay, if you want to buy sword, it's full price. If you want to buy shield, it's full price. But if you buy both, it's cheaper.
Yeah, because their combo pack's 120 still, right?
Their combo packs is the same price as buying both.
Because they just put up the one for Diamond and Pearl, right? I think I saw that.
Just imagine how many people would have bought that and been like, okay, well, I want all the Pokemon, so I'm gonna get both.
Yeah,
I bought Sword and Shield. In the
I bought both,
pack.
but it's because I gave one to my niece.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sean, you were like, oh, Lena might enjoy it.
Yep.
So
She didn't.
Well, I'm just saying it was, she
Waste
still
of money.
thought Pokemon were cute and whatnot, so worth a shot. But yeah, that's always been a little bit silly to me, and especially sucks because now buying the $60 Switch game is, not quite, but it's almost what buying both versions on like the 3DS would be, because those were $40, right? Or did they end up being 50 later?
Did you say the DS versions
or 3DS or whatever? Like the most recent ones, buying them on release,
I
they still
have to
$40?
Is that what the retail price for 3DS?
Some were 50. I don't know.
I
You
would
got
have
it
to
later.
assume they were top end. I would assume they were 50.
I don't know. It just seems like 60. They're bringing it up, and it's hard to get both. But also, when you get the Switch, like it's not really easy to, on like a DS or Game Boy back in the day, you could have both versions grind up, and then you just borrow a friend or brothers and trade to yourself. You can't really do that with the Switch. So,
now that you say that, I'm curious what the
I guess
original,
you could trade to someone and trade back. But
like, what did the original blue and red and yellow Pokemon games cost? Do you think we could find that out?
Wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I always kind of felt like
Game Boy games were always $40. I thought.
I don't remember. I was very young, and I never bought them for myself. They were like Christmas gifts or birthday gifts.
21? 21.
21.
let's see.
30. Some games were 20.
Yeah, it said Sun and Moon were $40.
Premium titles were
Really?
40. Yeah.
So 40 for red and blue, and
When the Game Boy was originally released, budget titles were $20, while most games were $30. If you wanted the best games, the premium titles were around $40.
Yeah, nowadays
what is the what year did it come out? 97? Or is it like 94? I know we talked about
Dude,
this.
the original Game Boy,
the original Game
Or are
Boy,
you talking
old
about-
AF.
or are you talking about Pokemon?
Pokemon Red.
I think it was 97.
97. I want to see what the conversion is.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing we've talked about.
Oh,
Is that
98.
video game prices have not changed very much while inflation.
$40 in 97 was about $68.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
In today's money.
Inflation.
So
That's pretty wild, man.
yeah,
I mean, we talked about this a little bit because of the donkey video. Like, games feel like they're always getting more expensive, but they're really not.
I mean, yeah, people were flipping out about some games being $70 on PS5, which I do think is kind of shit. But it's the first price hike really in a long time.
What can you do?
So,
What
and
can
I
you
spend
do?
too much money on like collector's editions for games I
Well,
want.
speaking
anyways.
of spending too much money on video games,
that's a good.
that's a great segue.
There you go.
So if you were here last week for episode 80, we kind of teased that I had purchased something, and so we're going to
Tease
talk
that
about that.
he bought a Switch case that could hold 80 games.
We teased that, yeah.
It's
so
just a little teaser. That's what he
you
bought.
could probably put that together.
Yeah.
I wish I had a cha-ching,
21?
but
It was $21.
it was
$100.
$21,000. So I'm going to put some photos on screen
Cha-ching.
of the listing, because I took a screenshot of all the listing photos just because I had a feeling I was going to talk about it on here.
Oh, really? I thought that was like.
I thought you just bought it for
you.
yourself.
Oh, I mean, I did.
Yeah, we're
but-
kidding, dude. Yeah. Anyways, pictures, listing, all the games.
So I was on eBay looking at just like blanket video game lots. Another word for lot would be bundle, whatever you choose to search by. And I see this listing for $3,500. It is like the title of the listing. I have it right here. Is
Ultimate RPG bundle for gamers.
Ultimate Nintendo Switch 90 plus game lot Neo Octopath Dragon Quest's rare RPG bundle.
There we go.
It was 12 photos. It was listed, like I said, at $3,500. And I immediately, just like to see what happened, put in a bid of like $1,500, and it immediately got declined. So I was like, okay, this guy has like those like auto options. That's like, I'm not going to take below a certain number. And I messaged him and I was like, I really want this. I'm curious, like, how far can you wiggle? Because right now you essentially have them, I think it was like $40 a game, $41 a game. Some of them are sealed, some of them weren't. I checked my math. At 40 might be wrong, but that's just what I think I remember. But this is the description of the listing. Buyer receives the Ultimate RPG Nintendo Switch 90 game lot, 3 exclamation points. The Ultimate Nintendo Switch game bundle includes unforgettable games from the Legend of Zelda series to the Final Fantasy series and other anime-inspired games like Persona 5, 4 exclamation points. Total of 90 games with 90 plus RPG, adventure, puzzle, rhythm, and platformer action games. This is the Ultimate Switch game lot. Buyer receives official Nintendo Switch North America version. Ultimate Video Games 90 bundle. This description is like probably like 5,000 words. It's huge.
What did you just say? Ultimate video
5,000. I don't.
Ultimate. What was the last part of the thing you just read?
Are you trying to tweet it?
Ultimate Video Games parenthetically 90 bundle. 3 exclamation points. And so I told Maddie and I was like, look, I want this, but I don't want it at his price. I said, if I can get these games at about $30 a pop, I will buy it. And she was like, you're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't buy that. That's so stupid. And I was like, yeah, but I really want it. And I have the money. And she came around, but she was like, you're such a fucking nerd, which is like totally true. And so I gave him an offer of $2,500. I gave him an offer of $2,700, and I said, this is $30 a game. I think this is fair. Let me know what you think. He doesn't say anything that night. The next morning I wake up, nothing. I'm like sitting like on the toilet, and it's like he accepted your offer. So after taxes, it was like, $2,900, but $600 off. Give or take, after taxes.
Yeah, I mean, you would have paid taxes even more. It would have been more than $3,500.
Yeah.
So.
And so I have the box. I'm not going to go through every name of every game.
Let's hit some highlights.
I'm going to put it on screen quickly. If you want to pause the video, you can do that. And for listeners, I'll try and put like a list in a little text document. But I'm going to get the game box so you can see how many fucking Switch titles this is. You can fill time if you want.
Games are cool. My favorite is the Cars game you got in there. Sean checked out Bee Simulator.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Ice Age.
Yeah, there's actually some really good ones in there. And what's crazy you didn't mention is that like a whole bunch of them are sealed. Like clearly this dude was collecting games, which is a fun thing in and of itself. But unfortunately, you got some loose games. But it's a pretty sweet deal. I mean, you got Persona 5 Strikers sealed with the Steelbook, also sealed.
For the thumbnail, I'm going to try and hold this up and not break something. It's a shit ton of games.
Here, take this out.
Bro, just leave that in, dude.
There's some games in that, though.
There's some games in that game case.
Yeah, there were a couple loosies.
So there's a fuck ton of games in here. You get the idea. But yeah, so the story, this would actually make me feel a lot better about it. So he messaged me, or no, I messaged him and I said, like, thank you so much for accepting my offer. I'm so happy to get this. I'm just curious where you amassed this collection, because it's a fuck ton of, like, I would say mostly pretty good games.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there are a lot of RPGs, I mean, how would you describe this? Like,
I don't know. I don't know that it's Ultimate RPG Gamer Pack because there's quite a few RPGs,
I mean-
but there's also a bunch of random crap. But there's
Yeah,
nothing
dude,
in there
feel
I
like
haven't
it
heard
had to have
of.
been like
I mean, he clearly liked RPGs. You know, there's some anime inspired
he
games.
definitely
like you
had
said.
kids.
yep.
Well, yeah.
Definitely had kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Ice
What
Age.
was that?
I was trying to read what that said.
It said Catherine
But
full
then he's
body,
got Catherine full body in here, right?
Yeah, let's not
which
talk
is
about
porn.
that. It's. I don't want to talk about this. I have that game.
Have you played it?
No, not yet.
It's porn puzzles.
Yeah.
We got new and
Uh-huh.
tasty.
But
I can't read this.
So, like I said, I asked him. I said, you know, how did you get all these games? Some of the, you know, a quarter of them are sealed. How did you come into the, like, because, you know, immediately people were like, oh, dude, those are stolen.
I think they might be.
And they
No, I'm
could
kidding.
be.
I'm joking, dude.
You know, they could be.
No,
But-
I mean, you definitely, when you start collecting games, and I've done many times, you're like, this looks sweet, I'm going to buy it. Maybe a lot of them he got, you know, on some kinds of sales or whatever.
Yeah. Or maybe he worked at a GameStop.
Yeah.
or-
Get discounts, you buy it, because why not? And then put it on the shelf and
So
Never
he
get to it.
responded and he kind of said, like, you know, I actually need the money. And when we first started playing the Switch, him and his family would, they would buy physicals instead of digital. And he was like, we've been doing digital all across the board. So we don't really need physicals anymore. And he was like, honestly, I need the money. And I was like, well, you know, that makes me feel better. And I think it made Maddie feel a little bit better.
better that you haggled them down 800.
Yeah. And then, see, and that's,
I'm just kidding.
and I was like, now I fucking feel
No,
bad.
but you wouldn't have bought it in the first place if
yeah,
it was 35.
I can't buy used.
It was going to be like
games.
$4,000
Yeah.
with tax. Like,
I can't buy used games at $40 a pop. Unless it was all sealed. If every single one was sealed and each one had a game case, some of them came without it. It was cartridge only. Some of them, I would pay $3,500. But no, I mean, for what I got, I'm very happy. I feel like it was a solid trade. I think he's happy because I was like, I'll pay right now. I was like, let me get this. I'll pay right now. And he was like, you said you'd pay right now, and you did, and I appreciate that. So I'm very happy.
it's a come up.
I feel like I don't really have to like look for games right now
You
because
shouldn't.
I'm like, I picked one out and it's kept me busy for 3 days. I've been playing Rhyme, which is incredible. It's like so good.
I'm glad you're
I've heard
enjoying
it's
it.
good.
I mean,
Like-
dude, you could pick anything out of that box and hit something that's probably going to be fun.
Ice Age for sure.
Yeah.
We've been joking that like I'm running like a Blockbuster rental
dude.
service now.
I mean, you seriously should not buy any games for a while other than, you know, like Pokemon when it comes out or whatever. Which I know there's not much you're looking forward to, but like you could. And I say this knowing full well I keep buying games I'm never going to play, but I'm just saying you just bought all that at once. There's enough in there for you to.
Well, I already have a list of those that I'm like, I will
Yeah.
be like Link's Awakening is probably
Oh, yeah.
next. And then, you know, I really want to try something that's out of my wheelhouse of like something I would never buy. That
Dragon
is in
Quest
this
11S.
box. You know, it's something I'd never buy, like Bee Simulator. Like that's going to be on the, you know, he's not even listening.
I am.
He just doesn't think it's funny.
The Bee Simulator. I know about it.
Like Ice Age, like I'm definitely throwing that in. You know,
Dude, I'll
Cars
look
3.
at. I'll give you some Rex, bro.
There's definitely like some throwaways, but I could tell from reading the list that there was a lot of good games. There's a couple throwaways, but the biggest thing for me was out of all 90, I only had, I think, 3 of the games already. So Super Mario 3D All Star, Mario Golf, and I think one other, but like there wasn't like a Skyrim, which I already have. There wasn't a Breath of the Wild. So many of the
I'm
bundles.
I
that
feel
you
like
look at
some of those
have those in it.
He had digital or didn't want to get like Breath of the Wild. Even if you were getting rid of all your physicals, why would you?
Yeah.
Well,
rid
they
of that.
sell really well.
Well, that's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. I'm surprised some of those, like, he could have sold like the Nintendo titles on their own for more than he just did. Obviously, easier just to do it all at once, but he could have gone on eBay and sold Super Mario All-Stars or whatever.
Yeah, I just wish I could like see all the time spent amassing these titles, because some of them, like you said, are like brand new.
Yeah.
Like what are some of the brand new ones that you
Well, there's
that you saw?
the Neo World Ends With You. I was like, oh, this just came out, you know. I don't know what else. That was the one where I was like, that's kind of funny that this just popped out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that have been in the last year, obviously, but I don't know when they switched over to digital, which to me is still a funny thing to say, because it's like, yeah, we're doing digital. Like, I'm assuming you didn't rebuy all those games digitally, but
Dude,
you know, it's just easier.
I hope not.
No,
I really hope not.
I'm just saying, I get the idea
lot
that
of
it's
money to-
easier
Because
to have.
if you do the math on all of those new, I mean, what is that? 90 times. The thing is they're probably not all.
Yeah, they're not all
60.
60. So
No,
if you-
yeah, that's what I said. So even if you did 50 bucks a
guys,
pop,
4,500.
yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of moolah.
Yeah. Did you say it was 45?
No, I said even if you did 50.
Yeah, 90 times 50 is that 4,500?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I kind of feel like a kid in a candy store, like, and I want to get like a shelf to put them on, and like, because I think this is realistically the most games I've ever had for a system. I
probably.
think I have a lot of PS2 games lying around.
Do you
and
have 90?
I don't know
feel
if
like
I have
doubt it.
90. And I had a lot of 360 games also, but the thing is like, and you guys probably the same way, like, I have 3 copies of Oblivion. I have 3 copies of Skyrim. I have, you know, whatever racing game I love. You know, I've got like multiple like Fallout. Like I probably have like 12 physical versions of Fallout of any, you know. Are you the same way?
I mean, with some games, for
Skyrim
sure.
for sure. Oblivion as well.
There's probably 2 Oblivions in that box right there.
Stardew Valley, I own 2 copies of.
And Skate, I have like 3 Skate 3s.
I have 4 copies of Darkest Dungeon.
You do.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't
feel like-
discourage it.
No,
if
I know.
you can't find it, or they come out with like, you know, a Game of the Year edition with all the DLC, like, fuck it. You know, I will not judge you.
Darkest Dungeon, I just mostly bought because I support them. It's a small team. I like the game, but yeah, I mean, Skyrim. Between us, we've had at least 3 versions. I don't know how many times Sean's bought it, but same with Oblivion. I mean, I don't know. It's not a bad thing with games like that where you can buy them and play for 100+ hours. You like the game, whatever. But I mean, when we got Skyrim on Switch, I played for like, I don't know, 30 hours or something, and I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Next game.
Yeah.
Just because I played it. I tried to be different and play as a mage, and I was like, this kind of sucks until you get high level. So
Sneak Archer.
yeah, I mean, you could play it the right way, or you could try to play it differently. And
No, I'm always Sneak Archer.
yeah, I think that's the joke.
I
that
try
fucking
so
everybody
hard,
is.
but
It's
I-
fun. I definitely spent time purposefully like grinding up an archetype real quick, and then I stopped playing as it.
It was always Sneak, Archery, and then I would get really fucking good at Alchemy, because there's this one recipe. It's Creep Cluster, Wheat, and Giant's Toe, and if you put them together, it gives you a full level every time you make the potion. And so I would just
I did not know that.
spam it.
Yeah, I mean, alchemy is cool.
It's just, dude, the funniest thing about alchemy is when you want to learn all the ingredients, so you eat everything
Yeah.
in your inventory, and then you get out and it's like, oh!
Yeah.
And it's like you've got like all these fucking things, but it doesn't kill you
No.
for some reason.
I loved in high school, Mr. Douglas was we were talking about Skyrim, and he was like, oh yeah, dude, I love that. I'm playing as Redguard, doing alchemy. It's like, it's sweet. You just eat a bunch of stuff, see what happens to you, and then, you know, you make something cool. He's like, I love that. Do that in real life. I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
But
he's-
it's so funny. Like I swear there's an animation of it out there of like the woman who owns
Yeah.
the potion shop watching a guy eat like all these were disgusting things.
Yeah. Giant's toe.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's end of
Bunch
clip.
of games.
Yeah.
Bought a bunch of guns.
Man
forward to
spends
coming over to-
$3,000 on Switch
Looking
games.
forward
Like
to
I
going
said,
back.
Instantly regrets.
If you if you want to hit me up on Discord, I'll do like a little like
$7 a
Netflix
week.
for games.
Little GameFly.
there will be
Yeah,
a heavy
Gamefly.
late fee.
Yeah,
Alright.
serious late fees, full price.
Yeah. Sean, you said you had something?
I did have something.
You said it was a secret.
Yeah, it
Well,
was a secret.
So it's not really a secret, but I just didn't want to talk about it.
I know. I was joking because you
Well,
said you wouldn't tell us.
Well,
yet.
I wasn't sure. Got to make sure you're joking.
It was a joke.
Well, so there's a guy named Spine Dev. In 2019, he had released a Linux flat pack for a PS4 emulator that could play some 2D games.
PS4.
Yeah. And so he's been quietly working on it since 2019, and it still is in its infancy, but he's tested over 1,000 games. 45% of the games will only get to the intro screen. 35% of them will properly get you into the game, and a lot of games that have 3D rendering still have some graphical issues. But he's one guy working on this. PlayStation 4 supposedly is pretty complex to emulate because it does not use Vulkan or OpenGL for its graphics library. It uses their own custom. I don't know.
How much power do you have to run an emulator like that?
Well, I mean, every PC with a graphics card is 10 times better than a console most of the time.
I mean, for new computers,
yeah.
at least.
Yeah. So PS4 is not. It's not super resource intensive considering how far PCs have come.
Yeah, but
it's just building the emulator to work around some of the like your computer. Its graphics card has VRAM, which is video RAM, and it's there to cache items for 3D objects, right? For whatever reason, PlayStation 4 has two separate VRAM caches.
Mm-hmm.
A one called, for some weird reason, they were nicknamed Garlic and Onion. Those are the two caches. So that's a little bit harder to work around on if you're trying to emulate on PC. Also, like I said, the fact that OpenGL and Vulkan are both not present in the PlayStation 4, which is what most emulators either use one or two. He's using OpenGL for rendering graphics, but he's having to basically convert whatever Sony's graphics library is over to OpenGL in the emulator.
Classic Sony.
This sounds like a cease and desist waiting to happen.
Well, I mean,
emulation is
it's not illegal.
yeah.
Oh, it's not?
You just got to emulate games you own.
You can't sell it.
No.
I mean, yeah, you don't.
So there is a version up available. It is Linux only right now. This was released 13 days ago. The newest version that he's put out. Apparently, it's a huge step in the direction of PS4 emulation. So
it sounds like it would
Thumbnail.
be a huge step.
PS4 emulator?
I mean, that's pretty cool. It seems like
MVG.
still kind of early, which is why it's crazy he's doing that because, it's PS4 is essentially dying, but it's not like they're not still putting out new games for it. So it's kind of nuts to see that.
I mean, there's a lot of 2D games on there, right? Indie titles. And I mean, that's what he was saying that worked the best.
Yeah.
Now, to get games on it is a whole nother convoluted ass
Yeah.
situation because of how Sony does their. You need to have a BIOS, and then you need to have the .bin files and all this shit. So I heard about this through MVG.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
He's
No,
like,
why don't we just
He's like, I worked on the console.
like play his video next time you want to
You know what?
tell
Let's
us about
just
something he did?
replace the whole podcast with videos of modern.
I'm just saying, Sean's going to be like, I want to talk to you
Dude.
guys about this. I watched this video. Let's watch it.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did. and
I said MVG.
I know. I heard you. He's a fucking smart guy.
No, he is.
Yeah,
And
no, it's just funny.
The thing is, I'm giving you shit on the frequency, not on the fact. Like his videos are incredible. It's the fact that every third Debuff episode, there is a mention of modern vintage
Well,
gamer.
check out his video. It's really good. If you made it this far in the video, go check his out, but only after you finish the whole episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it's on XDA Developers, which is where I started reading about it some more. Tom's Hardware posted another thing about it as well. But apparently, to get games for it, MVG was taking his hacked PS4 and using FTP to copy the files from his PS4 to his computer.
That's a
to be
pain
able
in the
to play
ass.
them. So, yeah, right now it's still super early stages. I don't know that I'd recommend go out and download this if you have a Linux machine with a graphics card. But I just think it's really cool that one guy's built this. Right now it is Linux only. I'm sure if there's a community large enough, people will try and port it to other operating systems.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, a 35% of games will let you in and play, whether or not there's some sort of graphical issue is a different story.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shit ton of fucking PS4 games, so
Dude, emulation really breaks my brain. I don't know how it works.
One step
we
closer
should
to,
watch more Modern Vintage Gamer.
Yeah,
to
probably
Bloodborne
should.
on PC
The
because they'll
console.
never port it. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because the way I always picture it is like there's running on the native machine, and then people emulating are like, hey, the same parts exist, but let's have to like build this pretend version of a PlayStation on top of it.
Yeah.
I know that's like not how exactly it works, right? But that's just how I picture in my mind. So it's always going to be like a little bit more resource intensive than the playing it on the native hardware. But like Sean said,
Well, yeah, I mean,
any computer now that you buy is, I mean, when consoles come out, they're already outdated. They're just, that's why they're cheaper than buying a nice gaming PC normally.
the crazy thing to me about emulation is that you are like with like NES or Game Boy or whatever, you're literally having to build an emulator that, in any emulator in general, that mimics the hardware through software.
Yeah, and that
So
is what
the
blows my
processor-
fucking mind.
You for the NES in an emulator is software.
Yeah.
The RAM is all software. Not there's no hard. I mean, that's really it's just it's weird to think about. But you're right. It is hard to wrap your head around. But I mean, that's really the easiest way to put it. Is that it's just pretending that all of the hardware is now software.
Yeah. No, I get that. I just
Well, yeah. I mean,
like
that's
if
why
some
someone,
people
if someone
do
said,
it-
"Hey, make an NES emulator," I'd be like, "I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either.
I don't know who to talk to. You can't pay me
where's the
enough money.
tutorial?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube.
He's like, how to make NES emulator.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I definitely, sorry. Wait.
no, I was just gonna say like people who were building NES and these old emulators were like didn't know what the fuck to do, right? Like they're
I know, and that's what's-
because Nintendo doesn't tell you how their CPU works. They had to figure that all out. So
that type of crazy shit reminds me of something else. But I want you to say your point, and then we can go on that tangent.
What I was just gonna say, I remember many years ago, figuring out how to like hack my PSP. I say that knowing all I did was run somebody else's package after they hacked it, right?
Just
But
jailbreak it.
yeah, I mean, but it was really cool. But some of the stuff you had to do to tweak it and do certain things or whatever. But when I had to go and figure out how to get my PSP to emulate PlayStation 1 games, that was a nightmare because it was like there was a built-in emulator into the PSP so that they could give you like PlayStation 1 games on their shop, but we didn't have access to it. So, you know, the hacksaws would go out there and figure out how it worked and then try to open it up to work for every game. But there was like all these different versions that you would have to pick that were compatibility based that would, oh, is this version going to work best for Final Fantasy VII or whatever? And it was fucking terrible. Me being like 11 years old, like trying to read online, what am I doing? And I'm just every single time sitting there like, who's coming up with this? Who's doing this for fun, like for free?
Dude.
I mean, it's, you know, people learn that way and it's got to be like really cool when you're sitting there messing around and you get a PlayStation 1 game running on the PSP. That's neat.
I have to assume it's computer science majors or engineers
yeah, I
that
mean,
are also like
just
kinda
big
gamer
nerds.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like somebody with a computer science degree that also really fucking loves Nintendo.
Yeah.
You know, I have
mean,
to assume that's what
people
it
get
is.
joy out of like owning their hardware, like
Yeah.
figuring out how it works and doing stuff to it. And that's cool.
Trying to understand that made me think of like wrapping my head around the original forms of like analog sound recording and how it used to be done on wax. And it's like, how does this work? Like, how is this able to be replayed? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, bro, I still like don't
that-
understand how like vinyls work. Even I know how it works, but I also don't know how it works.
So
It's just so weird.
the crazy thing about vinyls, and I'm going to tell you as much as I think I know. It's not that much, but on those tiny little lines of a vinyl player are waveforms.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And if you run the vinyl, I don't know if you've ever done this without the speakers on, and you put your ear up to it, you can hear just the faint version of the
Yeah, I've never
music.
done that, but
It's super weird. But like when I think about that, where like the original recordings, like I think it was like an Edison machine where there were these essentially like soft wax candles that would like the sound would be so like the needle was so like what's the word I'm looking for? Like easy to move, like fragile, that it would make a waveform. And if any of the low notes were too loud, it would fuck up the whole recording because they're such wide waveforms. Like, who was like, okay, I can translate that into ones and zeros.
yeah, I mean that kind of stuff.
And now it's digital.
I don't.
Like, what? How? Like, I'm not smart enough. That's what it is.
Well, that's why we don't make shit for computers like that. Because I get it in theory, but I don't know who sat down and decided to do that, which
Like,
is your point.
this is analog until it gets to that box and it turns into digital ones and zeros. And there's like barely any latency. Like that shit just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do computers even work? You know what I mean?
Is it technically?
It's
Anal-
audio
analog?
to yeah, it's I mean this is an audio signal that has power. This is a powered audio signal that goes to the box, and that box turns it into something that's readable from the printer cable that goes into
Not a fucking printer cable.
USB
B.
B to USB A.
Yep.
So whatever's happening in there is
USB B.
an analog to digital conversion. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, unless there's a fucking wax candle over there I don't know about. There's this little wax candle on the inside.
Analog to digital conversion samples the analog signal on each falling and rising edge of the sample clock. In each cycle, the ADC, analog digital converter, gets the analog signal, measures it, and converts it into a digital value. The ADC converts the output data into a series of digital values approximates the signal with fixed precision. I'm not very good at reading, guys.
So
We should just record without the pop filters on. Have you seen these without the pop filter?
No.
They look so weird. You can just
yeah, that is weird. All I'm gonna.
Hey.
hey.
Can you pop in there real quick?
Dude, that was foam you were tapping on?
No, it's metal.
little plastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
There's such ugly microphones underneath.
They're nice with the pop on. So,
Pop protector.
Sean, all I'm going to say is that I understand in theory what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel
this
like
was all
it's- yeah,
gibberish to me.
right.
I just wanted to give
No.
for the viewers who are way smarter than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, dude, how do you not know what an emulator
No,
is?
look, it's
And how it works.
It's understand in theory, like you said, waveforms converted, blah blah. What it comes down to, big nerd quote that everything is numbers, everything's math. I mean, the waveform, all that can be converted into math.
Yeah, well, isn't that just fucking convenient because you're so good at math?
I'm just saying. God damn it! I'm just mean all that can be like oddly enough converted into some kind of weird calculation or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
That goes into a computer, and then they deal with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who figured out how the fuck to do that.
Yeah.
Is
No.
the thing. So It's wild.
The other crazy thing, just to loop back to the Spine Dev,
Console.
yeah, there is no GUI right now, so no interface for the application. So you have to launch it through command prompt. But how big do you think the emulator is right now?
You have to launch it through machine code.
Like
Fuck,
command
dude.
prompt is like
You have
not
to do
machine language.
I know,
It's
I'm just
really the
kidding.
I know.
terminal.
It's
If
so
then.
funny to say that though.
Machine
terminal.
code.
That's even okay.
I said command prompt. It's terminal on Linux. Just wanted to
I
correct
don't know.
myself
It's
there.
got to be at least what 100 gigs, 300 gigs,
gigs.
right? I mean,
You were making it sound like it was gonna be huge.
I thought it was gonna be huge.
I was gonna say like a gig because that's the biggest.
It's 47 megabytes.
Oh wow.
What?
I mean,
that
all it
crazy?
is like script lines. It's not actually doing.
Bro, it's 47 gigabytes. It's gigabytes.
You just made it sound like it was gonna be big. When
Yeah,
you
I thought it was
lost
gonna
it.
be
'Cause all
I was pretty
emulators are
surprised when
small.
I saw how small it was.
I mean, what's the biggest emulator you've ever downloaded?
I mean, Dolphin's like about a gig, I think.
That's why I was going with the gig because I was just like, is it huge? I don't.
Dude, bruh.mp3.
But Dolphin also has a shit ton of plugins and stuff. It's not new, and it can also do Wii.
Yeah,
So
you're true about that.
That's
That's
crazy. Really quickly, before I forget, have you guys ever seen those TVs, CRTs?
I've seen a CRT.
You ever seen that?
No.
That have
Smash TVs.
that have built-in consoles, like
Consoles.
console, like
Yeah.
SNES.
Yes, I have seen those.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like not in person.
Those I feel like are Japan exclusives.
Yeah.
I saw one on this Retro Rick sode.
Oh, is that
This
someone
past
you're
week.
going to talk about every week?
Oh,
or-
is that?
Oh my god! Fucking I said his name once. He said it for
I know.
fucking 3 months.
we just had.
Oh, why don't you bring them up again though?
Let me
next
just bring
episode.
up. You know what? How about Metal
What about?
Jesus
Yeah, I was
Rocks
going to
too?
say, was this also Metal Jesus Rocks collab?
he
Probably watch Arlo, dude.
they went to some like super nerd store. Arlo's good.
I find his fucking puppet thing annoying as hell.
Yeah.
I subscribe, but his shits are like 2 hours.
Man, well,
No, I don't.
His
they're
Breath
not
of the
2 hours.
Wild.
Yeah, every once in a
review
while
is
he does
like
that.
2 hours.
Every once in a while, most of his shit
That's
is
a
not.
feature film, bruv.
You
That's
say
the
that like
Snyder
you guys
cut.
don't talk about how you will sit down and watch 2-hour YouTube videos.
No, dude.
I mean, that's
I watch like 8-hour
Yeah,
OOT
I was gonna say,
randomizers
what the hell, man? You're talking like that's.
in one sitting.
Yeah,
No.
I would think you'd see a 2-hour Breath of the Wild video and you'll be like, dog, I'm about to sit down and.
I
I
want
just
to.
I just
but-
would prefer his content if the fucking Muppet wasn't there. Like,
yeah, it does bother
I'm-
me.
I,
Arlo,
I like.
if you-
I like the puppet.
I
if
didn't
you
mind
ever-
it, but
if you ever listen to this, Arlo, I'm sorry.
Dude, he's
but I-
Sesame Street pilled.
I don't like I don't like the Sesame Street pill.
He's Sesame pilled.
look, I feel like I think it's a neat idea to have this like
He's Muppet pilled.
Muppet Sona, if you will.
Well, dude, it's a completely new take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I appreciate that. I just don't enjoy the like saying I'm a blue monster and all this stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
just
I
leave
mean-
that. You can use the little puppet to talk.
I don't know why
but
I'm fighting for him because I don't watch them. I watched a few.
I mean, I like his content most of the time. I don't enjoy.
I didn't know
the-
you guys watched Arlo.
I mean,
That's
bro,
crazy.
You feel?
I mean,
he's pretty big.
don't watch him, but
Yeah, I don't know. Either.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got some good.
I just sub. I thought it was fucking. Cool,
I don't
so
like.
subbed.
yeah, 3
Talking
hours
bad.
and 20 minutes over his
That's
I don't
like
want. I don't
all
want.
the
I don't
time.
want to talk bad about a guy that has.
That's
You know
so
what I'm
much-
saying? Like
he's
half
got
a million to a million.
subscribers. He's
more.
got half a million subs.
Yeah,
I was
he's
gonna say.
never gonna see this.
Yeah.
Dude, what's crazy is his 3 hour and 20-minute Breath of the Wild review. Guess how many views that has?
Oh,
Not
gosh,
half a million?
millions.
5.7 million
Oh, really?
views.
Dude, some people, I love that game.
All right, Arlo, I take it back. You're doing a great job. I'm
Wanna
just
shout-
not here for your.
Shout us out.
I'm not here for your. Muppet.
Sean's not Muppet pilled, and that's.
I'm not Sesame pilled.
I want to go back to the original point. Retro Rick found an S.
Are you bringing him
NES
up again?
Or an NES.
Dude, why don't you talk about it whenever you episode?
Okay.
We're not doing this fucking loop. He was with
Yes.
a guy who went to purchase an NES CRT. So there's like this. It's like this black tall CRT, and it almost kind of looks like a VCR, but in it is where you put the cartridge. And dude, it was just so fucking cool. And I wonder if there's an N64 version of that.
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't.
I don't know. I feel like
Would you
those-
ever want one of those? That's why I'm bringing it
I mean, that would be really cool. I just feel like it's one of those things where I mean, if I had the money, sure, I'd buy it. But I feel like that's something where you're just asking for, like, as soon as something happens to the CRT or the N64 inside, yeah, I guess you bring it somewhere and get it repaired. But that kind of thing, I feel like I'd be too afraid to fucking use.
Yeah. Well, it just, I know it's not anything that I probably will buy, but like, if I saw it in a store,
I don't
I'd be
think they
like,
even
"Holy
make one,
shit."
dude.
So, do you guys remember in old hotel rooms, some of them would have N64 controllers attached? Do you guys remember that at all? And it would be like the remote control.
It does look like they exist, actually. The boxy all-in-one Nintendo 64 your 90 self always wanted.
N64 CRT.
So you look that up and people are like, should I really use a CRT with my N64?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. Yeah, where do you put the game though?
In the slot,
Which slot though?
the game slot.
The
game
Nintendo
slot.
Gameway system. That's what it was, dude.
Nintendo Gameway,
Is that like Amway?
Amtrak. Oh wow, that's cool. That Gameway.
Yeah.
is
Remember that
this?
was in some hotels.
Oh, because that was the hotel one. Yes.
We just brought our
Hotel
Superjoy with us.
N64. Yes, this is what okay, LodgeNet game controllers. This is what I've seen.
Yeah. Yep.
I
remember that.
You could pay some sort of fee, and you could play certain games for an amount of time. That is so
Oh.
fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of real life, places where you can go and do that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I want to be able to do it in the safety of my own home.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I don't want to, be next to like some magic nerds.
Whoa, dude! Whoa,
So-
hold on, magic nerds. I'm pretty sure most magic nerds do suck. I was one of them. Just kidding, man. There's a lot of cool Magic players out there. A lot of uncool ones. Gave me bad first experience at Friday Night Magic. Good times.
Well, you're not one of them.
I
so.
kicked butt. All right, they were just mad because they were all like in their 30s.
You know why? Because you used math.
and I was like 14.
You used
No, I
probability.
didn't. I,
So
that's how you play card games. You put in. Anyways,
Dude, you counted cards.
I wasn't counting cards,
You
but
were counting magic cards.
you can't even. We
know,
did a
I'm joking.
draft, bro. I couldn't do anything about what I got.
So, I just really quick searching. I found someone who found a server rack with I think it's LoadNet. I don't think it's Lodge.
Oh well.
LODENET.
This is. I watched this video by. This is like Nintendo, I think.
Yeah. So there was a GameCube version of it.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep. And so apparently it was a racked system. So your TV was probably communicating with some box in a server room behind the scenes to play these games.
That's so dope. Can you put that in a Discord?
That's cool.
If you're not a part
This
of the
was a-
Discord, go check it out.
2-year-old Reddit post that's been archived now, and only 2 upvotes, and the only comment is the guy talking about what he found, and some more photos on Flickr, which I didn't actually realize Flickr was still around, but
Yeah, dude, I have to use it sometimes.
yeah. So it looks like
For my
it was just hosting games.
Status
How
delete.
though? How could it do that? Like referencing them as software?
I assume that either this box is actually just like 12 to 24 GameCubes in one, or it is an emulator, which
Yeah.
I mean, he's referencing this on a Windows 10 machine, it looks like. But there's parts in here that say Nintendo GameCube, so yeah, there's actually a memory card.
So what? There's just some poor guy
Yeah.
down there, like
There's a
Animal Crossing.
memory card right there.
Wow,
So it is probably actual legitimate GameCube hardware.
that is crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that technology is what is essentially driving cloud gaming, just on a bigger scale. Because this is essentially hosting 12 GameCubes.
LodgeNet 64.
Yeah.
I wonder what the price
Is it Lodge
were.
or Load?
This says LodgeNet.
Yeah, so he mistyped it in his in his Reddit post. That's probably why I only got 2 upvotes.
LodgeNet64. I just typed in lug nut.
We still got one more thing to talk about, I think, at least.
Yeah,
We got a tenor.
First, I guess shout out Darren. Had
Yes.
us a little topic in the
Triangle
Discord.
strategy project.
Project Triangle Strategy, name subject to change. Square Enix, change it. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. If you haven't seen it, it's another like turn-based tactical RPG from Square, same team that made Octopath Traveler. Looks like, pretty much same art style. Don't know if they've really changed anything to it, but game looks sweet. Tried the demo. It's fun.
That's lit. $5 for an hour of play.
Sean and I have talked many
Watch
times
that.
about being fans of, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Yeah.
Like other games like Fire Emblem. I've tried Tactics
Advance
Ogre.
Wars.
Advance Wars is a little bit different to me. There's no characters that you.
Yeah, but
yeah, same.
there are characters in it. But
you don't deploy.
yeah, you
characters.
just I get you.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
following.
the same. That's what I'm trying to say.
I feel you.
But Darren sent us these links. I saw some of this before that Project Triangle Strategy will be at Tokyo Game Show, which if you've never watched Tokyo Game Show, you should if you like any Japanese video game teams. 'Cause
I don't.
It's kind of like, Nintendo's Japanese, but they don't really do anything there. Nintendo does their own shit always. But, it's like a Japanese little like E3 or Gamescom type thing.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch, but they put up their list of what they're going to be talking about. Of course, half of their games that they're going to talk about are mobile gacha games, classic Square. But Project Triangle Strategy looks dope. It'll be there. And another little bit that came out a while back now, it says like March. They're aiming for like 50 hours for the game. And I don't know. We'll see what they end up with because they even seemed a little bit unsure of where they would land. They just don't want it to be too long before it gets cold, as they say. But I'm really excited. The game demo was cool. It's pretty classic. It seems a little bit more like I don't know. I never got super into
Sorry.
Tactics Ogre games, but I think some of the mechanics
I
are
wanted to
similar
try
to
that game. I never played it.
I played the PSP one a lot, which I think was a remake of one.
Yeah.
And but all those games are cool, and
I'm glad that they're doing another one of these strategy type games, like in that same artwork or art style as Octopath. And I think that's, a really cool way to do
pixel art
in, this
going
day and
forward.
age.
That's like everybody should try to do that.
Yeah.
Not just
I
Square.
do appreciate pixel art a lot, right? But I think this is a really cool take on making it somewhat 3D, but keeping that same like charm of little
What is
sprites.
Is it 2.5D? Is that what they call it?
Well, they called it like 2D HD because they were
Oh, okay.
being like chotches about it. But 2.5D I feel like is more when it's, I guess you could say that's what it is. I don't know. 2.5D to me, I always think of like side scrollers where it's 3D, but the game is still
Like Rayman?
2D.
Or no, I guess maybe.
I don't know if Rayman's,
I don't know.
but either way, it's really cool. It looks good, and I'm most excited for the game. They're saying there's supposed to be, which was in the demo, like decisions you make that will change the outcome of the story. A lot of games say that, and it never really makes a huge deal in the end. So I'm interested to see because it seems like it's going to be about a war, 3 factions or whatever, and
yeah.
I'm interested to see if things will actually change.
That's why it's a triangle.
I think that is the case. Yeah.
That's because it's a triangle.
But why?
3 factions.
Oh, okay.
What's the strategy? How are they
The
going to figure
name.
that out?
We talked about it. Name sucks.
So did Project Octopath Traveler, but at least Octopath Traveler sounds like unique and 8 path
Yeah.
people, like triangle strategy. If the game took place on like a triangle grid, maybe I would be like, okay, but I really do hope they get away from this naming
Silly
convention
name,
of
yeah.
it's project or whatever, and they're like, we're going to change it. with Octopath Traveler, they said that game got enough publicity that they were like, if we change it, no one's gonna know what the new game is. Triangle Strategy, no one's gonna fucking remember that name unless you've been watching this game. So change it while you can. Make it something that actually makes sense for the game.
Dude, shout out Darren.
Yeah.
Darren N104 from the Discord.
Yeah, just dox him real quick. No,
Here's his address and
Thanks
his
for
soch.
thanks for me and him have actually every time I see him, we've been talking about games and how stoked we are for that. He's been getting more into RPGs. He's been playing Octopath, and we were talking about this. I'm like, it's gonna be pretty sick. So I'm excited. Definitely picking this up. Maybe day one, maybe
Dude,
not.
I might wait
depending
for
on-
you to give me your review of it because you were like Octopath. The fact that you have to play as all 8 to get the full story kind of sucks.
Well, the fact that none of their stories are connected was what kind of sucked.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think that's kind of.
I understood it, but it was a little bit annoying because I'll say, and then we can not talk about Octopath. You pick your character you start with their story, and they can't leave your party until you finish their story. But all of the chapters, like each character, I don't remember how many they have, 4 chapters or more, I don't remember. So I went and I got everybody's, I did their first chapters, I made the party I wanted to do, and then I just only used those 4, and we're going back and forth between their chapters, and there's no story connecting all the tissues, so it's like, I do a chapter with this guy, oh, cool, but I can't continue with this story because it's higher level, and I want to go do everyone else's first, and then go do somebody else's, and then by the time I come back to this guy, it's been 5-10 hours, and I'm like, oh, what happened? So, Triangle Strategy,
21.
don't do that to me.
Can I ask you guys a question?
No.
And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. Why is it that so many of those Japanese RPG trailers, like the only font they use is like Times New Roman?
Bro, I don't know because I don't think I've ever noticed what fonts anyone uses like you do.
You ever seen like the trailers and like even for Triangle Strategy, like the fonts are so fucking boring looking.
I mean, I don't think it's Times New Roman though.
I know, but like it looks, it's a serif.
I would say
I will.
it's probably the easiest. I mean, these games are pretty old timey, right? They're older.
Old Times New Romany.
Old Times New Romany.
I know, it's just
No,
so
well-
many of the, like whenever you see a trailer for a JRPG, I feel like they have
That's the
a
Final
Times
Fantasy
New
VII
Roman
font, dude.
style.
Let me
font.
offer a take that is just an ass poll. I don't know at all, but the thought being that they have English text because in other countries they do learn some English, but not everyone is good at English. It's like a required class. Like if you don't like math, you might not like English if you're in Japan. Maybe they don't want to use weird fonts that might be like
Obscure
more
the
difficult
message.
to read.
I thought about that,
Yeah.
but
I
How
honestly
many
feel
years?
like it all stems from Final Fantasy's font. I fully believe that. That's my opinion.
I mean,
That's my opinion.
for the RPGs,
Disappointed!
I mean, maybe, but
I mean,
I feel like-
Final Fantasy was the first one. I feel like that
I think
really
you're both right.
blew up, right? Like, I mean, not the first
But
RPG,
arguably
JRPG,
the most popular.
but yeah, I mean, if you say Final Fantasy, 9 times out of 10, someone's gonna know what you're talking about.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
And I sort of feel like because that's the most well-known JRPG, that they're probably all kind of like,
but see,
let me not branch off of
that
too
one
crazy.
is a tall serif. They use straight up serifs in a lot of these, and I think you're both right. I think they want to go for serif because they know that works, but it's legible, and they know it's legible. But like, why not pick a new font just once?
I mean,
give me a sans serif.
Look, man, I really don't know. I feel like,
I enjoy a serif, dude.
God forbid, give me Babus Neue.
dude, give me some Comic Sans,
Dude, just give me some
some Winged
Give me
Apes.
some Joker Man.
Yeah,
Give me Papyrus.
I really don't know. I've literally never thought about that at all.
Yeah.
I will say for Project Triangle Strategy, Sean, with the Final Fantasy, like,
all caps.
I mean, it's
serif.
still Square. It's one of their teams, but like they probably go for a similar style.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I know we're at an hour. Can I say one more,
Yes.
and then we can?
No.
all right.
Shut up.
All right, guys.
Stop
this is good
talking.
watching. Thanks for listening.
No, what's up?
Just I don't have like a lot to say about this.
Just
but
wanna
we
shout out
we
Darren again.
reported on it, forever ago, back when it was just me speaking into a microphone and Mason having to listen to me and cut out all my stumbles.
Yeah.
So Epic and Apple's lawsuit.
It's
came
over!
to a
Yeah,
close.
shit, that's right.
And just interesting, that it all came out this way. I kind of expected some of this, but I think the highlights are Epic lost on almost every single count. They could
But
not.
Apple also lost.
Yeah, they
Dude,
could not
Apple's about to lose a lot of money.
prove that they're a monopoly and all this stuff. So they owe Apple millions of dollars, but they did come out and say that for like California's competition rights, whatever, that Apple can't, they have to allow apps to direct people to pay to an outside source or whatever. You don't have to pay for
You should
in-app
have an option
purchases.
to
Yeah,
pay for another, or to pay through another provider.
that's the better way to put it. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for, bud.
Dude, Apple is going to lose so much money.
No, they're not, dude.
I mean,
no. I'm not saying they're gonna die from this.
No,
I'm
but
saying like
they're gonna
they
take some
make
losses for
a
sure.
shit ton from the App Store,
Yeah.
from App Store advertising, and from in-app purchases. Like
Yeah.
I think it's like
Dude,
30%.
I
Yeah.
fully believe that Apple will be smart enough to have you, which they pretty much already do, through the setup of the iPhone, configure Apple Pay and no other service until you go to pay for something. And it's like, how do you want to pay? Apple Pay that's already set up?
Yeah. So
Or go to PayPal or go to fucking Epic or whatever.
here's
It's
what
definitely easier.
I will say.
You were paying for YouTube Premium through fucking Apple because it was easier and you were paying more money.
Bro, I'm so dumb.
Come on,
But-
dummy.
I'm just saying, I've done similar with Google Play where I pay for a subscription or whatever for something through that.
Yo, see there.
'Cause
Look
it's
at the
there.
monitor.
Sorry.
But my thought though is they are going to lose a bunch of money for sure once apps start figuring out, oh, we can do that. They don't have to pay. There's some things like what did I say, Comixology started making it so it's no longer a store on the app. You have to buy the comics like online, and then you can
log
read
in.
them
Yeah.
on the app because they were tired of losing so much money to Apple. And you can't in the app say, hey, go over here. So you had to. Anyways, it's interesting. But the other thought I had is that I know it's a certain kind of demographic. Mobile gaming is huge. I definitely play a couple games here and there and spend a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So Google takes some of that. But I really wonder because, like you're saying, a lot of people are going to set it up. They're just going to go and pay in there. Maybe now games will say, hey, 20% off or whatever if you go
Through Epic.
or wherever. That's cool. But also, when I think about it, I'm like, depending on what you're buying, I mean, you might be like, but I gotta go onto a web browser to save $2. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I would do it.
But the other thing is
Yeah.
with parents that don't know this, your kid comes up and they're like, I need some Fortnite bucks or whatever they're called. And it's like,
You fucking grandpa.
I'm kidding, but
I need some Fort Bucks.
Some Buck Knights.
it's like, let me, Mom, will you buy me some or whatever? They have to have it where when you go to buy them, it
What are they
says
called?
right there.
V-Bucks.
Yeah, V-Bucks. I knew what they were called. I just thought it'd be funnier.
Oh my gosh.
Unless they put it right there that says, hey, before you buy this, go buy it for cheaper elsewhere.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of sales made just because it's like, yeah, here, I'll buy you Fortnite bucks with Apple Pay because I already have it. It's logged in. I just press the button and you're happy.
I don't
So
know
I'm
that it's
interested.
even actually it's not even just Apple Pay because the only way to purchase
It's
anything
not
through
Apple Pay.
Apple's
It's-
App Store is through Apple.
You
So, I don't know how
have
they're
a
gonna
card.
fix that.
You have a card on file with the App Store
Yeah.
or like a gift card
But
or whatever it is.
I can't go to Fortnite and buy my Fort Bucks on
There's-
except through Apple service.
I don't think there's anything stopping Epic from having you buy Fortnite bucks with Apple Pay because that's a service that they offer. Now, they could put that transaction fee like for web services on Apple Pay, I assume, but it's the problem with it because I do think that this should have been done years ago.
A long time ago.
It's bullshit that they take a cut.
Well, I can.
I get it, but I'm saying like not having the option
Yeah.
to do it otherwise.
No, that's dumb.
people, you've already said it, but people hate the extra step, and unfortunately I don't know how much is going to change, but I think the discount thing is going to change a lot of people's minds.
I just think Apple needs to reevaluate a lot of their policies. I mean, Discord would technically not be allowed on the App Store if they did not have this feature on PC. That if you open up Discord and go to your settings,
Discord.
There's a setting in here. Go to your little gear at the bottom. Privacy and safety, I think. Allow not safe for work servers on iOS. So if you download Discord, this option doesn't exist until you sign in on the computer and go to this screen and turn this on, and now you're able to get to NSFW servers.
Bro, you got to turn that on?
Yeah.
To be able to access... Bro, good thing I got an Android. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
But I get it, because they don't want kids just downloading it and,
Yeah.
signing up for whatever the hell they want. But to me, like, come on. Like, there's that. I mean, there's the fucking whole shit with Epic. I mean, I just think for Roblox shouldn't technically be allowed on the store because it's an experience. That's what they refer to it as, an experience, not a game.
They couldn't put Game
Rogue
Pass,
Knight,
xCloud.
Bucks.
Yeah, dude, I need some Robux bucks.
xCloud couldn't be on there.
Roblox bucks.
Some Fortnite bucks, dude.
Because that allows you to play other games.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
Microsoft. That's what
But
you
they
said,
could have
Microsoft,
taken,
right?
yeah, they could have had it set up where you could pay for the subscription through Apple and they'd get a cut.
Yeah.
But
Their
they
cut
didn't
is
want
too
it.
high.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying
That's
they could have
my
allowed
thought.
it.
40%?
It should be
Well,
10 or 15.
I think-
30 is way too high.
Before we get into this more, we should have this discussion maybe another time because my thought is that sucks. But also, I mean, that's the same thing as what like the PlayStation and Xbox store do. I think Xbox is probably changing it now because they said they were going to change it for PC. But my question for that is like, does that not matter because you have the option to get it other than just on the digital store? You can get the physical, you can find, like shit like that. I don't really know enough to say, but
Are you saying because Microsoft...
so on PlayStation, my only option is to buy from them. I can get the disc, but they also take 30% off their digital storefront if I buy it on the PSN.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's 30.
I mean, I don't know that I necessarily disagree, or I don't necessarily disagree with platforms taking a cut to
I don't, yeah.
I think 30% is probably a little high, especially at the rate that games are sold.
Too high.
And yeah, I mean, but the other question too, I don't know when a game's $60 MSRP, what's the cut that like a brick and mortar store is taking? Like how much do they buy it for?
Dick and mortar.
A brick and Morty.
So I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. But I think because with the phone, there are a lot of other things that you can use your phone for than just playing games.
Yeah.
And B, you literally can't go anywhere else. There's not another option for the consumer or anything. That's unfair because what they try to look at it for with like the competition law is not just, Epic should be allowed to make more money if they want. It's that consumers should be able to go somewhere
Have the choice.
and get it for cheaper if they want. So that's how Epic's going to play it. Like same with video games. I was buying all my games through Amazon because I was getting 20% off physical pre-orders. So like
That's right.
I just can't wait till I can pay for all my in-app purchases with Fart Coin.
Yeah, shit coin and fard coin. Shid fard coin.
I think that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening. See you next time. Dan will be here next time.
Yeah, Dan will be here, and you should join the Discord if you haven't already. And if you have already, then I appreciate you every day of my life.
And also, if you haven't signed out yet, shout out Will for listening to us every week.
Yeah, Will. Holy shit.
I fucking meant to say that at the
Stick
beginning.
to the end, dude.
Yeah.
Listen every second.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Bye.
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 Debuff is hosted by me, Steve Skeels, edited and mixed by Mason Carlton. Follow us on Instagram at DebuffPod. That's DebuffPod. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.